You ever notice how some people fall apart the moment you compliment them? Like you tell them they're smart or attractive or talented, and suddenly they're a different person. Ego inflated, acting like they're God's gift to humanity. And then there's people who get torn down constantly, criticized, judged, and they somehow stay grounded, stay kind, stay real. What's the difference? Is it just personality? Is it genetics? Or is there something deeper going on? Something about character that we've completely lost sight of in our Instagram-filtered, validation-obsessed world? Welcome to the Metaphor Mindset, where we excavate ancient wisdom to solve modern problems. And today's story is going to flip everything you think you know about beauty, praise, and what actually makes someone worth knowing. So picture this. There's a ruler. Let's call him the king. Now this guy, he's not just wealthy and powerful. He's discerning. He's been around long enough to know that what you see on the surface rarely tells you anything about what's underneath. He's made the mistake before of trusting the wrong people, promoting the charismatic ones who turned out to be disasters, overlooking the quiet ones who had real substance. So he's developed this almost obsessive interest in testing people, in seeing past the mask to the truth. One day, he acquires 2 new servants for his household, and these 2 couldn't be more different. The first one, let's call him the beautiful one, is stunning. I'm talking, walks into a room and everyone stops talking. Symmetrical features, perfect proportions, the kind of person who's probably been told they're gorgeous since they could understand language. You know the type. Their whole life has been a highlight reel of doors opening easily, people being nice for no reason, opportunities falling into their lap. The second servant, let's call him the plain one, he's just ordinary, maybe even below ordinary. Not ugly, but definitely not winning any beauty contests. The kind of person who's probably been overlooked their entire life, passed over, underestimated. You can see it in the way he carries himself. There's a quietness there, a humility that comes from not being the center of attention. Now the king looks at these 2, and he immediately knows what everyone else sees. He knows the beautiful one is going to get praised constantly, going to have an easy time winning people over based on appearance alone. And he knows the plain one is going to be undervalued, maybe even mocked. But here's the thing. The king wants to know what's really there. He wants to see their character, not their packaging. So he sets up a test. He instructs his most trusted advisor to take the beautiful one aside, in front of others, and just shower him with compliments. Tell him he's extraordinary, that his presence elevates the entire household, that the king is lucky to have someone so impressive in his service. Really lay it on thick. Not just once, but repeatedly. Day after day. Public praise, admiration, validation. Everything our culture tells us we're supposed to want. And with the plain one, the opposite. The advisor is told to criticize him, to point out flaws, to make him feel small. Not in a cruel way, more like backhanded observations. Comments about his appearance, his capabilities, subtle digs about how he's lucky to even be here. How he should be grateful for this opportunity because, let's be honest, what else would someone like him do? The king watches. That's all he does. He just watches to see how each person responds to their treatment. The beautiful one? Man, it's like watching a balloon inflate. At first, he tries to stay humble, offer some modest responses. But after a few days of constant praise, something shifts. His walk changes. His tone changes. He starts believing the hype. He starts acting like he's doing the household a favor by being there. Little dismissive gestures toward other servants. Comments about how things should be done better. How he'd do it if he were in charge. The entitlement creeps in like water through cracks. And the worst part? He has no idea it's happening. To him, he's just finally being recognized for what he's always known he was. The plain one? He's getting torn down regularly. People are watching, probably feeling uncomfortable or maybe enjoying the show, depends on the person. And you'd expect him to get bitter, right? To get defensive or angry or depressed. But he doesn't. He listens. He considers the criticism. Sometimes he even thanks the advisor for pointing out areas where he can improve. He stays kind to the other servants. He does his work with care. There's no chip on his shoulder, no victim mentality. He's just steady, grounded, real. After a few weeks of this, the king calls both servants to him privately. He asks the beautiful one, "How has your time here been?" And the beautiful one, he's got opinions now. He talks about how he's noticed several inefficiencies in the household, how his talents are perhaps being underutilized, how he's been thinking about what role might better suit someone of his caliber. The king just nods, listening. Then he asks the plain one the same question. And the plain one, he's just grateful. He says he's learning a lot, that he appreciates the opportunity to serve, that he knows he has a lot to improve on, and he's committed to growing. No complaints about the criticism, no excuses, just genuine humility. And here's the moment of revelation. The king tells them both what he's been doing. The test. The beautiful one is confused, maybe a bit embarrassed, but mostly defensive. Wait, you were testing me? That's not fair. Those compliments weren't real? But they felt real. They made sense. I am impressive. The plain one? He gets it immediately. He actually thanks the king for the lesson, because through all that criticism, he learned something about himself, that his sense of worth wasn't dependent on what others said. He'd been tested by fire, and he came out stronger. The king promotes the plain one to a position of real responsibility. The beautiful one? He's got more work to do, more growing up, more character building. Because what good is a beautiful vase if it's empty inside? Now let's talk about why this story is absolutely destroying people today. In this exact moment, we live in a world that's engineered for the beautiful one's downfall. Think about it. Social media is basically a praise machine. You post something, you get likes, you get comments telling you you're amazing, your goals, your everything. And your brain lights up like a slot machine. That dopamine hit, that validation, it feels so good. And here's the trap, you start needing it. You start crafting your life around getting more of it. You become the beautiful one, addicted to the praise, slowly losing touch with who you actually are underneath the performance. There's this fascinating study from Stanford. They looked at people who received consistent positive feedback regardless of performance versus people who received honest, mixed feedback. Guess which group performed better long-term? The ones who got honest feedback. The ones who had to actually develop resilience and self-awareness. The ones who couldn't rely on empty praise. But our culture doesn't want honest feedback. We want everyone to be nice. We want participation trophies. We want to protect people's feelings. And in doing so, we're creating a generation of beautiful ones, people with inflated egos and fragile self-esteem who fall apart the moment reality gives them actual criticism. I see this in therapy constantly. Someone comes in, they're in crisis because they got negative feedback at work, or a relationship ended, or they didn't get the promotion. And when we dig into it, they've been living in this bubble where everyone tells them they're special, they're talented, they're destined for greatness. Then reality shows up with a different opinion and they can't handle it. They literally don't have the psychological muscles to process disappointment because those muscles never got developed. The plain one, he had those muscles. Not because he was born with them, but because life forced him to develop them. Every criticism, every moment of being overlooked, it was reps in the gym of character development. He learned early that his worth wasn't about external validation. He had to find it internally, and that made him unshakable. Here's the paradox that'll blow your mind. The beautiful one, with all his advantages, all those doors opening easily, all that praise, he's actually more fragile. His entire sense of self is built on something external, something he can lose. Age, accident, someone more beautiful walks in the room, boom, his whole identity collapses. The plain one, he's built on bedrock, on character, on internal values, on who he is when nobody's watching, when nobody's praising, when life is just hard and boring and unglamorous. That can't be taken away. That only gets stronger with time. There's this concept in psychology called the hedonic treadmill. The idea that we adapt to positive or negative experiences and return to a baseline level of happiness. The beautiful one getting praised constantly, he adapts. It stops meaning anything after a while. He needs more and more to get the same hit. He's chasing validation he can never catch. The plain one, he's already at baseline. He's not chasing anything. He's just being. That's freedom. That's the thing everyone's actually looking for when they're posting that selfie, when they're humble bragging, when they're fishing for compliments. They're looking for internal peace, but they're searching externally, which is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. So here's what you do, right now, today. You start testing yourself like the king tested his servants. But you do it consciously. You pay attention to how you respond to praise and criticism. Do you get high on compliments and crash on criticism? That's the beautiful one's pattern. That's fragility disguised as confidence. Or can you receive both praise and criticism with equanimity? Can you thank someone for a compliment without needing to believe you're actually better than everyone else? Can you hear criticism without your ego shattering? That's the plain one's pattern. That's real strength. Here's a practice. Next time someone praises you, just say thank you. Don't deflect. Don't diminish. Don't inflate. Just thank you. Feel it, enjoy it for a second, and then let it go. Don't build your identity around it. Don't let it change how you see yourself or treat others. Next time someone criticizes you, take a breath. Don't defend. Don't explain. Just ask yourself, is there truth in this? Is there something I can learn? You don't have to agree with all of it. But if you can find even a tiny grain of truth and use it to grow, you're building character. You're becoming the plain one. And here's the really advanced move. Start noticing the people in your life who stay the same, regardless of how they're treated. The ones who don't get big-headed when praised or bitter when criticized. The ones who are just solid, consistent, real. Those are your plain ones. Learn from them. They've figured out something most people spend their whole lives missing. The beautiful one isn't a bad person. He's just stuck in a trap that our culture sets for everyone. The trap of external validation. The trap of basing your worth on things outside your control. And the tragic thing is, some people never escape it. They spend their whole lives performing, posing, seeking approval, never developing the character underneath. Don't be that person. Be the plain one. Build something real. Build something that can't be praised or criticized away. Build character that deepens with time instead of fading with circumstances. The king knew what he was looking for. He wasn't fooled by surface-level beauty. He was looking for substance, for depth, for the kind of person who stays solid when life gets hard. And in our world, where everyone's judging books by their covers, where we're all swiping left or right based on appearance, where algorithms feed us what's pretty instead of what's real, we need to be like that king. We need to see deeper. In others, yes, but especially in ourselves. Here at the Metaphor Mindset, we're committed to helping you build the character that matters when everything else falls away. If this story made you question where your sense of worth actually comes from, hit that like button as a commitment to building internal strength instead of external validation. Subscribe and smash that notification bell because we're diving into these transformative stories every week, giving you the psychological tools to become unshakable in a world designed to shake you. And share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone who's chasing praise or drowning in criticism, someone who needs to know there's a different way. Remember, beauty fades, praise is fickle, but character is forever. Build that, be that, live that. I'll see you in the next one.